When I had my first camera work lesson in film school, my teacher taught us to shoot sequences, chronological events captured from different angles, and to be honest, I never questioned that approach until I watched Memento. And thank God that it happened in my early ages, and discovered Christopher Nolan, the director who breaks all the rules of time. And we all know, breaking the rules gives us a huge amount of adrenaline, but breaking the rules of time is a totally new level of mystery. I'm sure that for both you and me, time moves forward. Cause leads to effect, the past is the past, and the future hasn't happened yet, or has it?
Time travel.
No. Technology that can invert an object's entropy.
You mean reverse chronology?
Yes, exactly. Can you root around in the past and see things you didn't see the first time or the last time, or...
Will you? Every time I revisit a memory, a book, or a film, I notice details that I missed before. In reality, the past doesn't change, but my perspective does. But deep down, we've all wondered, what if we could change something in the past? And here comes Christopher Nolan, and suddenly we're asking a different question. What if everything we thought we knew about time was a lie?
What I like to say about my fascination with time is I've always lived in it.
Christopher Nolan doesn't just tell stories. We see that. He bends time itself. He folds it, reverses it, shatters it into pieces, and reassembles it in ways that make us question reality. So sometimes we get lost, get confused. What is real?
You don't know what's going on.
And with the confusion comes a strange satisfaction, because in the end we realize it was always a sequence. The order may be different, but it doesn't matter from where you start. In the end, it all comes full circle, revealing the whole picture. And just like that, checkpoint. We realize we've been seeing the truth all along. We just didn't recognize it.
Scene here, scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there, scene there. And they meet towards the end of the film.
To understand how Nolan manipulates time, we can't just go in a straight line. We have to experience it in a way that he intended, broken into pieces, layered with meaning, and then woven together in unexpected ways. Memory, regret, fate, entropy, everything is merged into Christopher Nolan's films. By the end of his films, it feels like he used his characters as pieces of a larger puzzle, one that reveals time itself as the true protagonist. And we guess that his films don't just play with time, they are about time. If we take a closer look, he uses time not just as a storytelling tool, but time is the story itself. In Memento, we're as lost as Leonard Shelby is until suddenly everything clicks. Nolan doesn't just show memory loss, he forces us to experience it firsthand with twisted chronology. But here's the real question. If the film were played chronologically, would Leonard still be the same character? Or does the structure of the film create his identity?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Only by piecing together the past can we understand the present. And even then, can we trust our own memories? Dunkirk isn't just a war film, it's a puzzle. 3 different timelines, unfolding at different speeds, converging into one explosive climax. But here's the trick. Nolan makes sure we don't even notice the time jumps at first. Only when everything collides do we realize that time itself was the real weapon.
I wanted to do, and so you wind up needing to fragment the story into, broadly speaking,
no parent should have to watch their own child die.
Time as memory, time as weapon, and time as emotion. And here comes a new dimension for Nolan's filmography.
What are you doing?
knocking.
Interstellar doesn't just explore time, it makes us feel it slipping away. Cooper spends a few hours on a distant planet, only to return and find that 23 years have passed on Earth. And suddenly, time isn't just a concept, it's a tragedy.
10 years ago, Linda Opes and I conceived a movie that would explain to the world Einstein's ideas, and she brought Christopher Nolan.
Of course, Nolan. Who else? He made Interstellar. As Cooper watches 23 years pass in minutes, Nolan transforms Einstein's theory of relativity into raw emotion. And then, in the film's boldest move, Nolan goes beyond time itself, past, present, and future, all existing at once.
Okay. So if we find a home, then what?
Why did Interstellar touch us so deeply? Because it's the film where we experience time as a living, breathing force more than ever. This is the film where we clearly see time as a character. The closer you get to a black hole, the slower time moves, and maybe our breath slows with watching it.
They're right there with you.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy.
Is this just a superhero movie? But what if I told you he broke the rules of time in The Dark Knight without you even realizing it?
And here we go.
At first glance, The Dark Knight seems like it unfolds in real time. No flashbacks, no time travel, and no gimmicks. But that's the trick. No one wants you to think time is moving forward naturally. In reality, the pace is completely unnatural. Think about it. How long does the movie feel? 2 days? Maybe 3? Wrong. The actual timeline is stretched out over weeks. But Nolan never makes that clear. Events bleed into each other, making it feel like Gotham is constantly on edge, never catching its breath. Joker's chaos is unpredictable, and so is time itself. The Dark Knight doesn't just break the rules of time, it lets the Joker control time. Notice how every time the Joker tells a story, the details change?
You wanna know how I got these scars? So I had a wife. She was beautiful. Like you.
A time bomb, ticking away, pulling us through past and present, cause and consequence, all at once. One moment, we're watching Oppenheimer build the bomb. The next, we're in a courtroom years later, watching him give answers for it. Cause and effect, happening at the same time. Because for Oppenheimer, the bomb never really goes off. It's always in his mind.
Whether the film's good or bad or indifferent is up for other people to say, but I want people to know that I've gone to the mat for the film, and we've done the best we possibly.
But Nolan doesn't just manipulate time for fun, he uses it as a weapon, just like the bomb itself. Think about it. When Oppenheimer is in control, time moves slowly, conversations stretch, details build. When he's powerless, time fractures. Cuts are rapid, events blur together. Nolan never needed time travel or sci-fi tricks to manipulate time. He creates stories that aren't just about the past, but become a warning about the future. In Tenet, time isn't just manipulated, it's inverted. Watching Nolan films, we might not truly realize it, but tension is building in a different way. As one of the unknown film critics said, he's making time itself a character. And actually, we're not just watching events unfold, we're experiencing time as the characters do. And that's the point. We aren't supposed to understand it, we're supposed to feel it.
For me, I think this is the end of a beautiful friendship.
But for me, it's just the beginning.
Time loops, cause and effect reversed. Where does the story begin? And more importantly, where does it end? At the heart of Nolan's films, there's one question. What is time? Can we change time? Or are we just trapped inside of it? But wait, didn't we ask this question before? Or are we just caught in a loop? So what happens when a director breaks all the rules of time? He doesn't just change how we see movies. he changes how we see time itself. Sometimes we're afraid of time. We say time flies so fast and it's scary, but Nolan changes our perspective of seeing time and its possibilities, and he changes our vision. If you manipulate with time, true miracles can happen.
You're always learning about your craft. You're always learning about, how to balance the pragmatic requirements, race against time.
And with the meshed up chronology, we definitely got the full circle of sequence here. So this is the end of this video, or maybe it's just the beginning.